Can you hear me, Susie?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm asking, who is Tablet?
Vanessa.
Who is listed as Tablet? Can you answer
Vanessa.
me, please? Vanessa? Okay. Thank you.
Looks like it's cold and foggy down there.
It's foggy.
Is it?
Yeah, I was having troubles getting signed on. It usually, whenever I just go in there and start video, it automatically starts, but it kept putting me over on my HP side of my computer because I got an Apple side and an HP side. So I was like, oh, great. That's just great. First time, and
Yeah. That'll go over great. Oh, good deal.
so you'll get to see how messy my desk is. I've been ignoring all my own personal work.
Yeah, we've been busy, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's why I was talking to my trainer yesterday, and she said, well, I tried to call you yesterday because I wanted to enter one of the horses or whatever. She said, but I couldn't reach you, so I just went ahead and did it. And I said, well, just go ahead and do it. I said, I've been at the office all the time and working from home. So anyway.
You remember Susan Vescova telling us about that evil eye?
Yeah, I got mine on. Yeah.
I need to put mine on. I got mine sitting on the desk. Look at what I ordered. Me and Helen was looking at them. Let me see if I can get it turned around there.
Oh, it has an eye in it? Oh, isn't that cute?
But it's turquoise.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It has turquoise around it, and then it's pink, and then it's an eye. And it's this place that makes them. She was looking for something for her Lucky Six partnership for Christmas.
Right. Oh, that's a great idea.
She thought those evil eyes would be neat because I was gonna go on their website. It's Michael Golan, and they hand make all their jewelry, and it was $100 for that. It came with the necklace. I didn't think that was bad.
No, it's beautiful. Oh yeah, no, I have the one Susan put on me at that meeting, and I put it on all the time. So I had it on. I'm trying to think where I went someday, and some young gal said, "Oh, you've got an evil eye bracelet." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I love those." And anyway, she was telling me the whole history of them. So I said, "Yeah, I've read."
You ought to go to that website. They got some really cool ones. I mean, they've got some really expensive ones, but some that aren't either. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Vanessa, how have you been doing?
Oh, a lot. Very busy.
Yeah. Well, busy is good, I guess.
Yeah, I could say that.
Is Denise?
No, nobody's. It's just me and you and Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
But no one's asked to come in yet. Of course, it's still a little early. I just wanted to make sure I had it going my way.
Yeah. Okay.
How's your mom doing?
She's doing okay. She got up early and she needed to know where a few things were, and so she's doing some baking, getting ready for next week, but she's doing okay. You know, I think when we go back, when I take her back home in a couple weeks, you know, she says it's going to be sad because her dogs, all this stuff was still out, you know, so, but, and then she'll ask me a few questions like, you know, you stayed with her till they completely put her to sleep. I said, yes, Mom, I stayed with her and all this. And so it's sad, you know, she's just going to be very lonely because that's really all she has there. So I just told her she's just going to have to stay up here more. So, but yeah, but she's already talked
at the shelters. They have a lot of them old dogs that need homes that people, you know,
that's what I told her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I told her she doesn't need a puppy because that's just going to be too hard on her. I think she thinks it'll give her something to do, but I said, there's plenty of dogs that we can go adopt. So we're going to we're gonna start dog shopping in a few weeks, so, or not shopping,
You
but
should.
dog adopting.
Have you ever heard of that lap dog rescue?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
you should check them out. They've got some really neat ones
Yeah.
that are potty trained and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're, middle-aged dogs.
You know who has a lot of cool dogs is Odessa. Gosh, they always have a
Yeah.
lot of cool dogs, and they
Yeah,
do such
they
a
do.
nice job of promoting them, to putting the little bows in their hair and stuff on the Facebook page. But
No.
yeah, no, I get most of the rescue on my Facebook, so I check those out all the time. So
Denise is in now.
I can't see who's on my, because I'm on my phone. I'm not on a computer, so I don't know who's on.
Can you not do the gallery view or?
I don't know how to do that. I guess if I change page, if I go slide it across and go, I can get a name. So yeah, but I don't want to mess anything up, so I just leave it alone. I have you or whoever's talking, and then I'm up in the corner on my phone. So
You don't use your iPad for it?
oh, I should, but I don't.
I need to mute my phone.
Paul said, yeah, he was hacked. His email was hacked, so not to send any money. So
They didn't ask for it. Yeah, that's what they asked for. So they was
Morning, ladies.
Good morning.
good morning.
Denise.
Denise. Yeah, that happened last month to him too. That's the second one I've gotten from his email saying, we can't write a check today. Could you write us a check and send it? Sure.
Maybe we should tell him if he started checking his email more and get rid of the scams, then maybe he wouldn't have that.
Okay, I'll let you tell him.
Hey, there's an error on our, I got questions on our minutes.
Okay, what?
First of all, Paul asked for a contact list of the finance committee from Jason. Did we get it? And then,
Not that I know of, but we have a list of them. I have a list of them.
and then on the last page in old business, you typed Wells Fargo and Bank of America accounts.
Yeah, Susie, we caught that at the end. We didn't change it. Yeah. Thank you. I'll get those changed.
Who's on the tablet?
It's
Oh.
Vanessa.
Huh?
It's Vanessa.
Oh, hi, Vanessa. Take
got
yourself
her
off mute. Say hello.
Sorry, I'm
Think of-
I'm on a phone conference at the same time. Sorry, guys.
She's multi-talented. I'm not.
I am
I can never-
multi-attorneyed.
Oh, hey, we are getting some money in it, look like. That's good, huh?
For what?
She's got a money account. I don't know how.
We haven't
that
got a
works.
damn thing. I have been spending money.
No, not us. I'm talking about Vanessa. Vanessa.
Oh, good.
She's working on a legal fund or something. I couldn't quite figure it out.
How much are our freaking property taxes? It was like over $3,000, right?
Wait till you
Yeah.
guys see how much purse money I found that's been embezzled. It's gonna blow your socks off.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate the commission.
Got forged checks. It's a mess. I'm already into six
Forged
figures.
checks.
They're forged. So
Oh my.
yeah, I can explain it if you guys want to listen to this, but I'm pissed.
Oh, that's bullshit. That sounds like bullshit.
So
Are you going to comment? Are you going to do a comment at the end of the meeting, Vanessa?
probably I could
Okay.
actually use some help on something majorly important
Okay.
and extremely simple. So go ahead and put me down for a comment.
Okay. We like simple.
I'll try to. Unfortunately, nothing with the commission is simple. It's convoluted. It drives me nuts.
Hmm.
Okay, where was the mishap on the minutes?
The last page, I thought that you corrected them. Maybe you sent out the old one, Susie. Remember we went back and corrected for Bank of Albuquerque?
Yes,
Instead
I
of Bank
thought
of
I did.
America?
One, they had a penalty and interest on the property taxes because they didn't pay them on time.
I didn't see that. I
It's
didn't-
losing money.
They did?
Where was it at, Denise? On the fourth page, you said?
The last page.
Last page. We changed that, Susie.
Where at? Old business or?
The old business, the last sentence, Bank of Albuquerque. You changed that. You know what you did? You included the minutes before we corrected them.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, because they're corrected on this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You sent out the other one, I guess.
Must have saved, I need to go through what I've got on my computer, because I bet I saved them twice and I grabbed the wrong
You
one.
did, because I have two on my computer. So,
Okay.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that, Denise, but we'll bring that up. Thank you. I'm trying to.
They get interchanged quite a bit, Bank of Albuquerque and
Bank of America. Oh, what did I do? I left something else.
All right, so I should have another tab. Two.
Ouch.
I don't know who SDB is.
Ask them to identify. I don't know. SDB. I don't know. I can't see who's on.
It
I
went
don't-
away. Oh, here it is. It's Dana. I see her face.
Oh, Simon and Dan Beachler.
She looks like a minion this morning. Got her hat on and all bundled up. Good morning, everybody. Paul, Larry.
Good morning. Paul's muted.
Yeah.
I guess I better mute too. Figure out how to do that. Oh,
Okay,
there's Paul. Good morning.
Morning, Paul.
good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Do we have a quorum?
Not yet.
Looks
got-
like yeah. We're missing Sean and Adam.
We have 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sean says he'll be on, but he's at a doctor's appointment, so he'll be muted. Or his baby's at the appointment or something.
We're missing Bernadette.
Who's on the
And Adam.
tablet?
Here's Sean. That is Vanessa.
Okay,
Sean just came in.
Okay.
morning, Sean.
Hey, Paul, how's it going, man?
Good.
I'm at the hospital, so I may have to mute and unmute myself every now and then. So I'm listening, but if you see me mute the video and stuff, they're doing baby monitor checks and stuff. So
Everything good there?
yeah, everything's good.
Everything good with,
Just-
with the baby, I mean?
Yeah, just trying to make
Good.
sure everything stays that way because we got what 60 days.
I was going to ask you, when was she due?
How many days we got from now? What? Less than 60. Yeah. So we're hitting the end of it.
But who's counting?
By the doctor's official count, but I don't know if I don't know if the baby's going to cooperate. I think we're more like what 45, 50 days. Yeah, 45, 50 days. So
Well,
that's the baby.
congratulations. I didn't know you were having a baby.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Well, I don't
Wonderful,
have to
Sean.
do any of the hard work. She's
No,
doing all the
you-
heavy lifting here. I'm just along for the ride and holding hands and giving moral support. That's
Yeah.
it. Vanessa's doing all the heavy lifting, I guess. Right? Is that how it works? She's excited. I'm doing Zoom meetings while we're doing this.
Looks like we have a quorum. Let's go ahead and get started. In fact, I think everybody but Bernadette, right?
It looks
I don't
like
know.
it.
Okay. Is Adam there?
No, Adam, we're missing Adam and Bernadette.
Okay. Well, we have a quorum and it's 9:03, so let's roll.
Okay.
Call the meeting to order at 9:03. Do we need to make any changes to the agenda before we start? I don't know of any changes, so I'll call for approval of the agenda. Any
I make
opposed?
a motion. Yeah,
Oh,
good.
go ahead. Go ahead and make a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Denise? Okay. Any opposed? Okay, it passes.
Okay. Did y'all read the October minutes?
Yes.
Any motion to approve those?
I have a question.
Okay.
You asked for a list of a contact list of the finance committee members from Jason. Did we get that?
I did not.
I have it. I have one. I have one. I can send to Paul. I
Okay.
have a list who all's on the committee, so I'll send that to Paul.
Okay.
Okay, then I make a motion that we approve the October State Board minutes.
I'll second it.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, well, it takes us to the approval of the August and September financials. Like I told you guys at the last board meeting, we were just simply going to go in where I was and just delete the names of the particular horsemen that got money or medical. So that's been deleted. That's the only change. I have no idea. I have no access to the money market account, so I couldn't do anything about that. But those names have been removed, and you've gotten the financials that Terry and Brenda did. So I asked for approval of both the August and September financials, unless there's any questions. Have
Can
a
I-
second?
One question.
Sure.
Where's the October financials?
I'm going to get to that next. So do I have a second on the August and September?
I'll second that.
Oh.
Any opposed? Okay, Pam, October financials?
Okay, the October financials are not included because we still do not have access to the Wells Fargo bank accounts. Therefore, I have no idea what's been paid. I have no idea what the simulcast account looks like. I mean, I'm not going to be on the account, but Paul and Denise have not gotten access, or Paul's not on the account yet. We're still working on it. Therefore, there was no way to print out any financials. I can't tell you what was spent, what was paid, what medical was paid. I can't tell you anything that happened financially in the office in October. So that's why they're not included. As soon as we have access, we can go in online and see what's going on, what was paid, and print those out. We'll have them ready for you, I guess, in the January meeting.
I'll give you an update on that. Tony is still the point man on the Wells Fargo account. However, I've gotten him in touch by telephone with Tim from the I guess it's the national office in Phoenix. And Tim has sent Tony the documents via email, and Tony has sent them via paper mail to me, and they should arrive in my mailbox today via paper mail. I think they can be, I think I can sign them and digitally put them back in the email. I don't, but Tony wants me to paper mail them, which I will. I'll paper mail them back to him, but I think I can also just sign them and email them. So as soon as they get here, I'll do that. I don't think there's a problem with it other than just snail mail. So
Okay. That's all I have for financial October.
okay, the PAC report. The Thompsons have resigned. I think you all know that. We need to consider a replacement lobbyist. There's been some concern that we should wait before we pay any lobbyists because of the nature of this next legislative session, which doesn't allow us to do very much or anything because it's a president or the governor decides which bills get heard, and it is supposed to be a financial only. We may want to contact a few of our legislative friends and see if there's any way that we could put a financial bill through that we've talked about. But it's, you know, our former lobbyists, Jason and John Thompson, did not think that we could put anything financial through because even the financial bills that get heard will be at the governor's discretion, and she can call any of them off. So any thoughts on that other than what we've discussed before?
Did anyone check with anyone? Junior said he might look around, and I think Denise said she had someone. Has anyone reached out to anyone?
Good morning, guys. This is Junior Gonzalez. Yeah, I did, but I got to talk to you guys on that in executive session, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we'll talk about that in executive session. Report from the president. It's been a turbulent few months, as we all know. My goal is still to get this legal situation resolved. And I've been in communication with Gary. I've been in communication with Sean. He brings some valuable expertise to our board, and I'm sure he'd be happy to discuss some of the details if you individually want to talk to him. There's some things in executive session that we can talk about today, but I think we're on track. I know we've had some internal changes and adjustments just because of financial or the lack of financials, but we'll make it through. And we're moving forward on a couple of areas with the legal stuff, and that's my main focus, and I think it should be all of our focus is to get that resolved. And some of it will be, I'm sure, with legislation, and some of it will be just making sure that everything is in place legally. Let's have a report from the track committee, starting with the Downs at Albuquerque.
Paul, can I interrupt? When I need to know who 575-308-1515 is. Somebody just joined the group and I don't know who that is. Can y'all let me know who you are?
Susie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, this is David Locke.
Okay, okay, good deal. Okay. And then there's someone else wanting in. Larry, Paul, it's EEG. Who is EEG? Can you identify yourself? Let me ask them to.
Guys, this is Junior Gonzalez. That's Aaron Gonzalez, EEG.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, all right, good deal.
Paul, if you could, because I'm probably going to be the one who does the Albuquerque thing. Can you defer me to the end of the other committee so I can finish up in the room with
Yes, sir.
everything going on?
That's
Okay,
fine.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's go to the Ruidoso committee.
I have not heard anything from Ruidoso Downs except that they keep saying they've been sold. And I tried to look into that. Rumors have said it's been bought by La Felice Montana Group, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. Absolutely nothing. I called Bobby Simmons one day, left a message, you never called me back. So nothing out of Ruidoso. Do you have anything, Paul? Did you hear anything?
Who's La Felice Montana? No, I haven't heard anything else. Who's the
That's
owner of
that
La
group
Felice?
down in the vet. That's that Martinez. He was on the guy that runs the place was on Rick's faux committee this summer. I don't know who owns it. They're down there in the
Maybe
Honda in the
Richard
valley.
Martinez or something like that?
It's
Armandale?
Rodriguez.
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 Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the Rodriguez brothers out of Las Vegas.
They're the ones that won All American about 10 years ago
Yes, sir.
with
Okay.
yeah,
Hearts wide open.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But that
Draper trained for him.
Oh, okay. Hasn't been confirmed. I don't know. But that's all I know about Ruidoso. Denise, have you heard anything?
Can I ask what you've heard? And I can look into it.
All I've heard is it's sold to La Felice Montana. And I've just had that from a couple of trainers and an owner call me.
As in like the entire company, or did they buy into the track?
They bought Ruidoso Downs. That's all I heard. Yeah.
I'll look into that, but I don't think any of them would pass the background check for the gaming control board.
Oh, well, maybe that's why we haven't seen anything. I also heard too, I think Dana told me that Golden Gate was actually looking at Ruidoso and Sunland Park. But again, this is all rumors, so there's really nothing to report new from Ruidoso, unless Denise has something.
No, I have not heard anything.
Okay, thank you.
I have a little update from Sunland. We have an ongoing contract with Sunland Park that renews 30 days after the prior meet ends, unless we contact them otherwise. So I've been in contact with Dustin, and I've sent that contract renewal to Gary just to verify that we're all good. I'm waiting for him to let me know it's good, and we will send them a confirmation letter just to memorialize it, even though it's legally it's already renewed. So if we and I know a few tracks we have that with, if we want to change it, we need to kind of remember that these renewable ones expire 30 days after the track ends, which, usually when the track ends, we just kind of breathe a sigh of relief and move on to the next one and don't do a lot about the old ones. So if in fact we need to change old ones, we need to do it within 30 days after the meet ends. I think it's a good situation to have those renewable like that, so we don't get in a bind at the beginning of the next meet. So that's been my communication with Dustin. Junior, do you have anything?
Sorry, guys. I'm wrapping up a horse. Yes, I've been talking to Dustin as well, and it looks like asked him about the stall list. He said they should have it out within a few days. If they have the list ready, they just try to allocate where they're going to put people, the final pieces of that. So it should be coming out here shortly. He said that the barn setup for Sunland is going to be December the 16th, and I'll text you guys all this information. The horses are going to be able to arrive on December the 18th. The racing office will open also on December the 18th. The track will open for training on December the 21st. And zero date is going to be Thursday, December 21st by 2 p.m. And then obviously the first day of entries is going to be Friday the 29th. First day of races is Friday the 5th of January.
Okay. I will say one more thing about Sunland. In talking with Dustin, they'd really like to get a major meet going on down there, and they'd like to consider and have discussions regarding a longer meet, regarding split meets, so that we can attract some national level thoroughbred trainers. And they're trying to be progressive about making it a pretty solid place for people to want to come. So nothing for certain, but I told him that we'll talk about all options. We're interested.
Have we heard anything about the condition book? I've actually had a trainer from out of state say, when are they going to put out the condition book? You're about a month from being able to move in and there's no condition book. Any word on that? I didn't see if it was approved at the last commission meeting.
I
Anything,
haven't
Junior?
heard Junior.
Sorry, guys. No, I asked him about it, and he said it should come out with the stall list, but that's all he said.
Okay.
Thank you.
Paul, can I ask you a quick question about the negotiations with Dustin and the contract real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
So the question would be, if they are renewing the contract, are they just renewing it as sort of a byproduct of the fact that it's there, or are they actually looking at us as the authorized representative to negotiate the issues that go on that we should have as part of the contract, number one? And number two, I know you sent it to Gary, and I've got the contracts that I used to do in Louisiana, and they do kind of control probably a lot more than what we have in the past, all the way down to how many extras they can ride on an overnight and when they can hang up an extra race. Because it's tough enough to get in a race when you're looking at running thoroughbreds and quarter horses at the same time in the same meet. Plus you got sub races, then you got extra races. So most trainers train for what's in the book, and it's difficult, especially with HISA, to jump into these extras that go on and stuff like that. So if they are negotiating contracts and language and stuff like that, I think it might be high time we start making some of those additions to it to kind of control that as well. And it also controls any games that go on in the backside with any racing secretaries who might be looking to do that. In fact, one of the things I did in Louisiana was have a runout board through Encompass that basically when you drop an entry and they take that entry and it goes into the computer, it rather than them coming out there and physically writing it on the board at a certain time, see how many horses in the race, how many horses are in there in real time throughout that. And I think that would be something that would be beneficial, because I've seen a lot of things in my time there that are in derogation to the rules, and nothing really seems to occur to fix it. And it would kind of get the transparency. And if these places want to bring in bigger outfits and national outfits, they better start adapting to some of the things that they do on a national level. That'd be my thought.
Yes, and our contract obviously is not that detailed. We felt like we were just happy to be still allowed to have a contract with them. So,
And that's
but
we'll talk
I
about
think,
that more in executive, but that's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
that is part of the problem. However, I think this contract is open to some friendly negotiations and suggestions with Sunland Park, and if things will improve the interest from a national level and bring in big players, I think they will. I think they want to do stuff like that. Just, I don't think we need to force them to do that. I think they're interested in good
No,
ideas.
I think it behooves them to do it, to tell you the truth, because
It does. And so that we can talk about that with them, and I don't think we need to put it in. I don't think we need to change the contract to make it happen. If it's a good idea.
Yeah, but I will tell you this from experience. We're all friendly and we're all partners and everything else until we disagree on something. Then all of a sudden things go awry. It's easier. It's kind of like you get into any partnership. It's easier when everybody's all friendly to put it in writing and say, this is how we're going to do it. And then, I don't know. It's like you said, it's something I've got language that I'm going to pass over. And I know I've sent you a few things already, but I think that this language helps solidify the fact that, the transparency is probably, I think, paramount for bigger outfits to want to come and do these types of things. And it doesn't really cost them anything. So I think that's something that appeases these guys when we do bring it to the table. It's not costing them any money to put these improvements out there.
They'll barely talk to us right now.
Well, yeah, that's part of the problem is they barely do. So what is the contract going to do?
With 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't even have contracts with them. We've come a long ways in 3 years. We didn't even have contracts.
Mm-hmm. But you do realize that the contract, the reason that we have a contract, or the fact that we have a contract, is that's the only way that they get our consent to take their signal and broadcast it out through the Interstate Horse Racing Act. That's our power through federal law. I'll
just say this: this ain't no time to start anything up. We're on pretty damn thin ice. We just need to get to the next track. I agree with everything you say. In a modern day, but we don't have a commission will back us up. We've got a commission that hates us.
Right. But isn't it time that we take a stand, or you think that we should just kind of take it?
I feel right now is not. Right now is not.
So what's your suggestion? We just take it?
But the timing is not right now.
And why? Help me explain it to me, because I'm still trying to learn the lay of the land. Why would you say the timing is not right now?
Well, hell, they don't want to. They don't even want. Look, what happened in Red Dosa.
I understand. That's why I'm asking. Why is the timing not? When they've pretty much pushed us all the way to rock bottom. So when does the timing become good to do this? Is there a good timing?
I don't know, but I'm saying it's not
right. No, I'm
now.
asking. I'm not arguing.
Well, I don't know.
I'm asking.
I haven't. When we will know a difference when we're just barely hanging on with the racetracks right now. We're just barely there. Mm-hmm. What's to say if we start demanding a bunch of stuff, and then they go out there and appoint their own deadgum commission like Red Dosa did, and then we got to fight all that again and pay for all that.
Not necessarily. There may be some help out there on the way.
I'm not going to argue with it, but that's my opinion.
But I don't want to argue. I just want to ask. I want to understand so that I understand why you feel that way, and if there's a better solution other than just we take it until when.
I don't know, but right now is not the time.
I think what I'm trying to say is these guys are willing to take some friendly communication. Sunland Park they're willing to take some friendly communication, and if it's a win-win, why not? We'll go talk to them.
That's what I say. Some of the things I got, these are things that are done at the major tracks and that are brought in. So if they're open to wanting to bring in bigger outfits, I think the time is right to start doing it. We're not forcing anything down their throat. I'm talking about a real-time run-out board that helps them and any trainer to know how many horses are in a race. It limits how many races they're going to use. These are the things they want to see. I would think that these are things that they would look positively because, again, it doesn't cost them anything in the process. You know, forcing them to do stuff is like backside improvements and all that kind of stuff. And I think I understand you're talking about major events that go on, and you're probably right. Maybe we don't have the power to do that, but there are a lot of minor things that go on that don't cost anything that I think would behoove all of the horsemen in general. And if they're open, like Paul says, to bringing in other outfits to come in here and try to make this a bigger brand, then it's time to start implementing big boy type of procedures and not, you know, not very outdated, antiquated things that make these guys think they're going backwards rather than forwards.
I think it's
So,
worth
I
a
mean,
discussion. It's worth
yeah.
a discussion.
Okay.
So,
Paul,
I'll get you that language, Paul.
okay, thanks.
Paul
Susie?
Tablet has their hand raised up. That's Vanessa on the tablet. Do you want to let her say
We-
something or?
We have public comments on number 10.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Sunray
Sunray
next.
Park.
Sunray Park's next.
I don't have nothing that anybody should know at this time. I don't know about Bernadette.
Bernadette on yet? I haven't
Yes,
seen her.
I'm on.
Hi,
Good morning,
Bernadette.
all. Hi.
Good morning.
No, we don't have anything with Sunray. They're pretty quiet right now.
Well, we've got you. Is there no, I'm sorry. Split test is in 8. We'll
Yes.
talk about that then. Okay.
Okay.
Zia Park.
Yesterday at the walk-up barn where you got to go, they've cut that down to about 20-30 minutes from an hour.
All
People were happy about that. They just did it yesterday when they started. I guess they're treating us like the quarter horses, what some people are saying. The same times as a quarter horse, not so far out. And what we all argued about when we had our local meeting was that they didn't have to be there that long because of HISA. Well, that's not really true because HISA contracts this laboratory, and that long time was trying to. They had to be there 45 minutes before what the laboratory said, but they're not testing hardly any horses. So anyway, they backed up, and everybody was happy about that. And the purses are real big, but there was some trouble with the sound system yesterday. I sat downstairs, and you know, there's 4 or 5 TVs going, but no sound. And out there on the apron, you couldn't hear the announcer. So, and I brought it to their attention, but maybe they'll fix it. But besides that, everything's going fairly good there, I think.
Who's your communication link there?
Christy and Lauren, the general manager.
Okay.
And also they're going to let us have our office back. They cleaned it out the other day, and Lauren wasn't there yesterday. She's supposed to give me a key, but I guess she was on her way to Albuquerque. But they did clean out our office and let us. We're going to have our meetings in our office and sit out there on the picnic table.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got anything, Susie?
No, I don't. You covered it, all the issues. I haven't heard anything bad from there. People, other than, like you said, the speakers and that having to stand in that stall. But other than that, it went pretty good. We voted to, which all of you probably got the message. We voted to let things stay the same. Didn't nominate anybody or anything. Everything stayed the same.
Okay. Very good. New business and discussion items.
No, you need to go back up to Albuquerque, Paul.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sean, you're out of the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah. I'm driving now, so I can talk. Basically with Albuquerque, as we kind of discussed a little bit and touched on, Albuquerque's backside committee is really more of an advisory committee at this point, because there is what I call a faux committee that the tracks tend to deal with. Although Don Cook and I have started to express a pretty good dialogue. I think I sent my members the letter from HISA. So we got HISA to only require an ambulance for the training and stuff like that. There was an issue about coming up with the $4,000 and stuff like that, but I assume that was resolved at some point. We backed off of any money to it because of the current financial situations and the lack of knowing how many people were out there, how it would get paid back, and all the other kind of stuff. So that was the end of that. There's some things I'll probably touch on a little bit more in executive session, so that I can kind of forecast some of the legalities of sorts to the board members about things that we should be cautious about in our conducting of our business, especially in public. And as you guys know, we have a lot of litigation that is going on, that Gary is running the point on, and that is still ongoing. So we always have to kind of watch our actions. And like I said, I'll defer the rest of that to there. But as of now, we're close, pretty successful meet, and that's it. Unless Adam if Adam's on the phone and he has anything he wants to add.
He's not here. He hasn't ever signed on.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, can I say something to that I
Yes.
heard today?
Go ahead, Bernadette.
They said that Taryn Bachis was collecting cash from the trainers to help cover the $44,000. At first it started at $200 per trainer, and then it went to $20 per horse instead of charging the trainer if they only had one or two or whatever. And then I guess some of the money from the haul-ins were going to be at $15 per horse to use the track, and some of that was going to go towards the $40. That's what I was told yesterday by someone from over there.
Okay, so that means there's 200 horses there probably?
I would say probably that.
Okay.
They usually always have at least 150 to 200 horses there with no problem. And then the haul-ins are always full on the weekends. So I don't think they would have a problem getting that 4,000. I don't know that they have collected it all because they didn't say, but they also told me that someone accused her of stealing money. So, it's always something somewhere. But that's what I was told by somebody that's there yesterday.
Okay.
How true it is, who knows? But that's the word that's back there now. Okay.
Thank you. Pam, Denise, and Susie, can you give us an update on the office situation?
Yeah. Okay. So we went in on the 31st, met with Terry and Brenda, had a list of the various, passwords and user codes and all that stuff we needed on the different accounts. We got the building keys, the mailbox keys, the gate opener, the alarm clicker, basically everything just to how the building operates. The gate out front, it's busted. You have to manually open and close it, and there's no way to lock it. I'm waiting on Valley Fence to come out and give us a quote to repair it. So they had just put a bicycle chain on it. We secured it with a little bit bigger chain and master lock. And then we had some trouble with some of the passwords. We got the passwords, but then when we'd go in and we didn't have the specific pins or codes. I think there were 18 that we needed. I think we've about have them all now. Let's see, check the mail. We've contacted the insurance. I'm looking because Denise has done some of this and Susie's done a lot of it too. So I basically just did the building and there we need to get everything organized. The back room has just been a storeroom. So we went in there, I went in there and cleaned it all up. Over in the back corner, set up 2 tables, has all of our electronics there. We were able to get a list from Shannon of what this association has bought throughout the years as far as equipment. On the day we met with Terry, I've asked her several times, where is all the equipment? Where are the iPads? She said some are scattered here, some are in the basement, some are around. I gathered up what was there. There were only 3 iPads in the office, but unless they're in boxes in the basement. I don't think so. I've looked down there. I know Jill has one checked out, and I can't remember if Gerald had one checked out and Larry, but there's only 3 that I was able to put over on the electronic table. So I don't know where the other 7 are. And we're just going to compare that to the list of what's been bought all along and we've been depreciating. There's flash drives, we've got those. As far as the girls, we arranged to meet with them at noon. We came in and they had already done they figured out their final paychecks with their vacation and their sick leave. I told them that Denise would be there if she needed to look at it. I would be there, but of course we can't sign. Tony Cap signed their final paychecks. I never saw them, and that's pretty much it. We've gotten into the computers. We're on the email, so we can check daily. We can pull up the email, see if anybody's emailed us. But really, there's not much activity. The telephone's been switched over. It is answered by Susie right now. The credit cards were cut up. I think that's all on the things that I handled. So I go up, I water the plants, I check the mail, thermostat is set down, check the emails and just trying to get it. They had brought in the outside trash can because they've been doing a lot of shredding. I'm not sure what that was, but I guess, I don't know, unless they were working with Gary on some stuff. And I still have to get the basement organized. Haven't had a chance to get down there. But I just want to have all, like Gary said, keep the medical forever. So I want to have all the medical in the room where most of the medical is. And because of space and file cabinets, it's kind of all over the office. So I want to get all the medical in that room together. So we're just trying to get it a little better organized. So that's my part of the closing. So I guess Susie, you're next, I guess.
Okay. I'll start with the insurance. I had called in October, the 1st of October, to find out what needed to be done. And they said I wasn't on the account, which I knew I wasn't, and I couldn't make any decisions. But they said that they would get in touch with the broker who would get in touch with Terry and Brenda. And he said, because we've talked to him since, and his name is Ryan Aramijo. And he helped us get this done. I had talked to him on the 31st, and I asked him to call the office and put him on speakerphone so everyone would be on board with what was going on. Terry, Brenda, Pam, and Denise. He did call the office, but he was not put on speakerphone, and Terry told him to cancel it all. Well, and then afterwards we talked to him. Denise reached out to him, and he said we needed termination letters, and he told Terry that. So therefore, we had to type up some termination letters for each plan, and we've gotten I think it was you may have to help me, Denise. It was the dental was canceled. It's been done. and the term life insurance and disability has been canceled. We are waiting to hear from the Vision, the VSP, and the Presbyterian Health Plan. So that's in the makes of being done and finalized. I contacted Comcast, and we got the bill brought down to it had the best internet speed available, and we've dropped it down to the lowest and dropped down to one phone line. And now it is going to be right at, I think with taxes and all, we get a $10 discount for being a Echo Pay, which Echo Pay and billing. And he had told me it was going to be right at, I think, $109 or $99 a month with taxes and all. I think, yes, the last person I talked to said it was going to be around $116 a month. So that was taken care of. Verizon, we've called and got that taken care of, and it is canceled as of yesterday. And that was Richard's old phone. That was $101 a month. We will not be paying that anymore. Mass texting, the simple texting was $89 a month plus $485. That's been canceled. Albuquerque Journal was canceled, and they wouldn't reimburse us what we owed. We still had money in there up until, I think, December 31st. And they said we could donate it to someone, and she named off several places. And so I donated our remaining newspapers to the Veterans Association there in Albuquerque. They'll get the rest of our newspapers. We didn't want newspapers piling up at the office. Didn't think that would look good. So therefore that went to that. And then, let's see, I think that's about it. Can you think? Oh, the telephones. Terry told Denise and Pam that A&M was responsible for the telephones. So I called A&M Telephone, and they said that we didn't owe any more money on them, but we could donate them back to them. And I told them we didn't know what we were going to do, but I just need to make sure we didn't owe any money. But they're paid for. They was bought and paid for, I believe they told me, in 2019. So all of that's taken care of. Can you think of anything I missed, Pam or Denise?
No, I mean, other than, we've had a lot of problems because, like, we all got an email from Terry saying that the medical had all been canceled, and none of it had. And so therefore we had to, and I didn't realize they had medical, dental, vision, disability, and life insurance. And we didn't know that. So all the letters were sent out, but obviously, since we did not have control of the Wells Fargo accounts, all these were paid out of our Wells Fargo account this month. It was too late to stop them. What we've been told is as soon as it runs through the system, all those letters, and it's canceled, they will go back and they will issue a credit for the money that we spent, because that was $3,000 worth of benefits that were not canceled. So I just wanted everybody to know that. And pardon me. No, I think you've got everything.
Yeah, there was also a charge of $23.57 to Microsoft on the credit card. I disputed the charge, and they said that the credit card was canceled, but they would make sure that that one was done. I think our bill is going to be 119 or 109. I couldn't understand for sure because she kept saying 119 for Comcast. And that also took off the Microsoft 365, which took away that domain that Terry and Brenda had an email with their names to NewMexicoHorseman.com. So that's supposed to be taken away as well.
So when people email the New Mexico Horsemen's Association, what email do they use now?
Same.
NMHA State One at AOL.com.
Okay.
Everything that we've gone and changed and got like Comcast and stuff, that's the email that it goes to.
Is that on our website to let people know they can still email that?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed on the website. As far as
Okay.
contact and I think Denise is gonna cover the rest of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Denise.
Um, let's see here. We all did that. So in reference to the equipment, I have the asset list from Shannon that goes on our tax return. We have a $500 threshold, so anything that was purchased that was not $500 or less, we do not have a record of it that we can find. This is all that Shannon has. We've got a couple computers, the fax machine, a computer from Sunray, a computer from Sunlen, a projector that's at the main office, a compact notebook, but these have all been depreciated out. But she did tell me about the iPads that came on, and she said we are supposed to have 10. Again, if some of the older board members could tell us maybe where those other 7 are, that'd be great. If not, I'll have to have her do an adjustment on the tax return. We'll have a equipment
I
loss.
think everybody had one at one point.
And they didn't bring them back?
Those that, well, they weren't back and forth like that. They were just issued to us. I have one still in my
Okay.
possession. And
Okay.
if whoever else has one, just maybe text me
Text and
or
let us know so we can
text and
keep
let us know if you have one so we can keep track of where they are.
a record of them. So there is a lot of equipment back there that is not on our assets, but they're also very old. Some of them have notes on them that say, I'm sick, doesn't work. There's a couple flip phones, anybody wants one. There is actually a fax machine that uses the old thermal paper. I thought, the copier guy thought maybe the Smithsonian might like that.
Larry, that was bequeathed to Larry last I checked.
Oh, perfect, Larry. I will send it with Frank next time he brings horses to Hobbs. So at some point, we're gonna have to figure out what we want to do with all that. But that's probably for another day. We did cancel the workers' comp insurance. We'll be having an audit come in January. Hopefully we'll get a little bit back since we don't have as much payroll. We do have some significant bills coming up that we've got to pay in December. Our insurance for the buildings and our director's insurance is due. It is $3,000, $2,927. Our property taxes are due. They're right about $3,200. I have, Terry left her credit card bill there. It's due on Friday. I have absolutely no way to pay it. Unless she set up an automatic payment, which I hope she did.
Like tomorrow, Friday?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do the
Hopefully I'll get this paperwork from the bank in the mail today.
Okay. But I don't have access to her credit card. I'll have to either write a check or something. They won't give me
The
information.
credit cards were canceled, Denise. So I did find that out. Wells Fargo.
They're canceled, but a payment's still due, Susie.
Yes, I know. I understand.
Yeah. So I don't know what the card number is. They've blacked them all out. So like I said, I hope she set up an automatic payment for that card. That's pretty much it. Susie, Pam and I have been going in on a Saturday to get things organized and cleaned up. We have the alarm guy is coming on Thursday, Pam, at 8:30. Thought I'd let you know that now.
Oh.
And the copier guy will be back on Thursday also to finish repairing the copier. So hopefully now that we can print, all of our packets will look a lot better. He needed to order another part and he has it. He'll put it in on Thursday.
Okay.
That's about it as far as I have on the closing, because I just had the accounts payable that needed to be paid. I did talk to Shannon and we have a call on Friday. I booked all of her journal entries. that she had made based on the tax return and the previous 2 years' tax returns that had not been made. But I need some clarification from her on those before we discuss with the board what those are. I understand the tax return did get filed yesterday, which is
Yeah.
good because it's due today.
Yeah.
She does have copies of all the tax returns, but I did find them in the computers that were at the office. So if we need those for whatever reason, we do have them. Anybody have any questions on the office?
I
Wait,
do real
I have
quick
one other
thing.
thing, Sean, before you go.
Huh?
Before you start, we were supposed to cancel the Pitney Bowes postage machine quite some time ago, and we hadn't. And Susie got a hold of them yesterday, and we have a termination because we had another 3 quarters. It was going to cost us another $1,000 to keep that through next September. For $950, we can get out of our lease early.
And what is that?
The postage machine.
Well, we had asked them to close that in August. If I go back and look, no, actually, we did it before then. And they said that they did. They were just going, we were going to keep it there and run out the postage. So, but it was never canceled according to Pitney Bowes.
We were on a quarterly lease.
Yes, yes. So that's why we asked them, okay, so we want to ask you if we can go ahead and close it because we're not going to be using the office. We want to get rid of it and come get your machine. That's how it led to this. And that's what they told us.
The lease isn't up until September of 24. And so we've got 4 more payments of $252. So that adds up to like $1,010. And they said we can get out of it today for $952, which we're saving $50 by going ahead and getting out of it. And we'll ship the equipment back to them.
Is there any way to, is there any chance that we might be sending out some more letters to people? I think there might be.
Why couldn't we just go to a mail service, and that way we're not having to buy ink cartridges for the machine and all of that.
Yeah,
the postage is
state in
about
our lease that we have to keep it up. You know, and it looks like it has what's the word I'm looking for? A maintenance package that we're supposed to do to it periodically, and I'm afraid if it sits there for 9-10 months, it's not going to be. And then we're going to get penalized for the machine not being correct.
And there's minimal postage. We'd have to upload another, I don't know what we have to pay, at least $100 to upload postage into it. So it really makes sense to just go ahead and pay the early cancellation and just ship it off and go back. Because I think it's going to end up costing us a lot more than $1,000 in the next 9 months. So
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
my opinion. So.
Okay. Have you seen the contract?
Yeah,
Was
Susie's
there?
got it from Pitney.
And I've got an email from them that they said that we can get out of. We have until the 13th of December for that amount to be back, $952, and then we can cease the contract.
Okay.
I'd say get out of it.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing, to go ahead and just send it back. That way we don't have to take care of it. We don't have to order cartridges. So they'll once we get the contract paid before the 13th, they'll send us information on instructions on how to send it back, get it returned to them.
Okay, let them know that we're gonna do that, I guess.
Okay.
Paul,
Okay.
I had a question, just a quick question as a new board member of sorts. And first of all, Denise, Pam, and Susie, thank y'all for the work that y'all are putting in on this. I know this is coming out of your time and your efforts, and it sounds like it's an awful lot. So I definitely appreciate the work that you all are doing and taking this on, obviously at no cost to the horsemen. So I appreciate that. My question, and I guess any of y'all can answer this, is earlier you were talking about the benefits for the employee that were canceled, and it was whatever it was, health insurance, dental, all this other stuff. Just out of curiosity, is there a bylaw, or how did that get, maybe from a historical standpoint, was that approved by the board, or who approves all that?
In the
Denise?
handbook, I saw that they were allowed medical and dental in the employee handbook. I didn't find any amendments. I don't know if it's on if board.
Is that something we have as horsemen that we approved as a board, an employee handbook?
No, yeah, it's
Yeah,
old.
so
So
It was
probably
probably
something that
before-
we need to revisit.
Yes, we do. It was probably before the time of anyone who's on the board at this time.
That's
Yes.
what I figure. Yeah, that's why I was trying to get a historical perspective to just understand it. That we probably need some kind of a new, as we continue to talk about bylaws, something that updates that, where the board has oversight for that, so that those types of expenditures, if they come in the future, probably need to come before us and approved.
Right.
Yep.
yes.
I'm sure if it's over so many dollars, it's got to be board approved, doesn't it?
Could be.
And there a threshold there? Don't we have that somewhere where if it's over so many $100 that the board's got to approve it?
It would be the salary too, though, huh, Larry?
Yes, all of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, all that's canceled now, so of course we
Yeah.
need to
Just
look at
going
that
forward, there's nothing we can do retro, but going forward,
Yeah.
we probably need to make sure that we have some oversight and control over that.
Yep.
I'll kind of make
Yep.
a note to add that to the overall scheme of things,
I think you're up, Sean, for the HBPA update.
Okay. Yeah. So we have been in contact with the National HBPA, and for some of you who don't know me very well, years ago I sat on the executive committee of the National HBPA when I was a president in Louisiana for 6 years. So I know most of the guys who are still on there, even as today. The National HBPA, some people, I don't know that we've been very active with them per se, but I think the first problem is we're behind on our dues to the National HBPA. All the affiliates pay dues to National HBPA. We are a few quarters behind, and I think I've probably sent that information over for. I know I sent to Paul. I don't remember if I had to send it to the treasurer or if I sent it to Susie as well. So it's something that we need to discuss getting up to speed. I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about that in executive session because there are some things that I think that the board members need to be aware of, but I don't know that they need to be publicly disclosed because they will involve strategy to strengthen our position going forward with everybody, and we want to make sure that we don't run into anything from a legal standpoint that would potentially jeopardize anything that we're trying to do. National HPPA has been very receptive to helping us out in our plight with the Racing Commission and what the Racing Commission is trying to do. I recently put together a letter of sorts that was letting the general public know that the Racing Commission has on its special meeting agenda on November the 30th of this year to basically officially de-recognize, if there is such a term for that, our association as the collective bargaining agent for the horsemen. I believe, and again, I'll probably defer most of this conversation to executive session, that there is action that we need to take. But I will tell you this: I've been in a few meetings before where we've been a little divided on certain issues that we don't always agree upon. This issue right here with what the Racing Commission is doing should be one of those types of issues that galvanize every person in this industry to come together as one and stand up and make whatever stand we have to make to stop this type of abuse from going forward. I don't know why it's gotten, and again, I'm relatively new both to New Mexico and obviously to this board. I've heard stories as to why it got there, and I think majority of us had nothing to do with any of that. But if there's a way to diplomatically stop what's going on from occurring and going forward, I'm all ears. But I'm going to make this issue with National HBPA known throughout the country, and we're going to put eyes on New Mexico as to what's going on. We're not going to let these types of practices continue to just occur without letting everyone know that there's a problem here. And you know, whether these, I heard earlier, tracks being sold and everything else, maybe that changes some of the outcome. Our relationship, and I think Larry alluded to it with the commission, has not been the best in the world. And that's unfortunate because in every place that I've been, we've had good relationships with racing commissioners and the racing commission. But we're going to probably need every member to sign this type of thing so that we can put this out and let the racing commission know that, you know, we're strongly taking a stand against this and that we're not just going to take this lying down. So they're willing to help us through all of the affiliates and getting people to come on board. And they've already put out, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, I think they've already put this out to the affiliates around the country to let them know that this is on the agenda on the 30th and that, you know, they should be aware of this as well from a national standpoint, that if they don't recognize us, that it's going to cause a rippling effect throughout the nation.
That is correct. That is correct, Sean, and thank you for your work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move
That's
on
all I have.
to, yeah, thank you. Let's move on to email motions. Pam, can you,
Yeah.
there's been several email motions that we need to just notify everybody about.
Yeah. So anytime we have one, we get the results, Paul sends them to me and then I type them up, and I just wanted to read them before in the open session today. So first one, Sudie Prather made an email motion on October 24th, 2023. I make a motion not to conduct a recount on Albuquerque committee election and move forward. The motion was seconded by Larry Strain. The motion passed by majority vote on October 26, 2023, as reported by President Paul Jensen. Number two, email motion. President Paul Jensen made an email motion on November 3rd, 2023. I make a motion that the bylaws are clarified to read that one person as a member of the New Mexico Horsemen's Association, either owner or trainer, can vote one time in a given election. They can submit their vote with any one of their owner or owner partner or trainer license numbers. The motion was seconded by Jose R. Gonzalez Jr., Director. The motion passed by majority vote on November 7th, 2023, as reported by President Paul Jensen. Those are the two that we had this month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment.
Bernadette, can you give us an update on the split tests? We're at item 8D, if anybody's following along on the agenda.
Okay, the other day I got a call from Izzy, who was gonna do the split test or who they could get in contact with. I guess they have a few more bad medication violations, and they've been trying to call the office and the girls, and I just informed them that the girls were no longer with us. So he asked me what should they do or what they should tell the trainers, because this was a time sensitive situation, and he wanted to know what was going on with that. At that time, I knew we were going to talk about it today, so I just told them to try to either get in touch with you, Pam, or with Denise, because you guys were closest to Albuquerque at that time. And then I would let him know what we were going to do going forward. But that I was in Albuquerque, I was here at Hobbs, and there was no way that I would be able to get that done. So he was just going to pass the information on to the trainers, which I don't know who they are or who they were, and nobody has approached me here about it. So I remember at the meeting in July, Paul, that Jill actually wanted to cancel and stop taking the split tests. She suggested that we stop it back then. And I don't remember the reasoning that we decided not to, because the commission has always put their work on us. And, you know, I think it would be a better idea, you know, that the owner or the trainer do their own split test and do the process, because the process is about a 4-hour process on a day. Because you got to go and wait on the commission to get everything ready and the paperwork, and then you got to go take it to the post office and make sure everything is sent out okay. We also were having trouble because they were sending them to labs that were approved by the commission, and then all of a sudden the commission says they're not approved labs anymore. So I think on the split test, I'm with Jill, and I think we just need to stop doing them and tell the commission that if they're not going to recognize us, we're not going to do their work for them, and it's better just for us to wash our hands clean. Because I believe if I'm correct, that would be like 7 that is out there right now.
Oh, hold on. I have 2 emails in the last, one on November 9th and one on, well, both of them on November 9th for split tests. And we've had 1 missed call in the office.
Okay. Well, he said that they've been trying to call the office, and then they were trying to get a hold of Brenda and Terry. So
No,
I am
when I go into the office, it'll tell me how many missed calls.
okay.
Before we got it transferred, there was 1. And her
Okay.
name was
Well,
Renee Arbach. That's the only missed call we've had since the girls
Oh
left.
yeah. I don't think she's looking.
I'm pretty
for
sure she's not a
to
split
set the
test.
test. Yeah.
So there hasn't been no calls into the office because the telephone tells us how many calls we've missed.
Okay.
I can
Well,
run
we
back
are.
through and look.
Yeah.
So that is not correct information.
Yeah, Denise, we are talking about the New Mexico Racing Commission here.
Well,
I'm just,
okay, all right.
I'm just telling
They
you.
can't say that we're not answering the phone because like I said, we've only had 1 missed call.
Well, they can say whatever they want, but this is just the information he passed on to me and the information I passed on to him.
Okay,
And
well, you can tell him we've had 1 missed call.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really plan on talking to Izzy very much, but
Okay.
if he calls me again, I will tell him.
But like I said, we've had 2, and I would like to have, we need some type of standard letter to send back to these people, you know, that we're not going to do the split test.
Right, right. Well, what we need to do is we need to probably come and inform our horsemen. We don't need to worry about the New Mexico Racing Commission. We need to inform our horsemen what they have to do for their split test now.
Okay, well, these were letters, these were emails from, one was from a trainer and one was from a trainer's attorney.
Okay. And was it about split test, Denise?
Yes.
Okay.
Both
All
of
right.
them were split tests.
Okay. So, I mean, who knows who those trainers are? He just said they've had some recent medication violations. So maybe the trainers themselves haven't tried to get a hold, or maybe the commission just doesn't want to, you know, take it on. I know I have a message for him from Paul too, when he calls me back, that I'm going to tell him.
Well, I agree. I think we should not do the split test, but I do need to have we need to have a standard response back to somebody who does email
Okay.
what we tell
Just
them.
a question, why did we ever take on that responsibility to begin with? In all the other states that I've ever been in doing this for split samples and stuff, and I've litigated them many times in the past, the trainer's got to go there to make sure he marks it. I mean, it's almost a liability concern that we would be marking something for the chain of custody and command on these types of tests.
Well, Sean,
that
the
something we
trainer is always there. It's just,
The
it
what?
was, you know, the girls pretty much did it out of just, you know, being the girls, you know, and
What
doing.
were they doing,
surprised
Brenda?
with
We are the
What
horse
were they-
association, you know.
No, well, I get that, but my question is, what would the role actually be if the trainer's there?
Well, the reason it is because I believe, you know, I don't know, I'm not like savvy about it. Maybe Jill might be able to chime in and tell you a little bit more of how the situation goes, but the trainer took it to us to, you know, went and requested the sample, and the girls would go to the commission and do the process for them. Now,
So
I
we'd
don't
write the
know.
letter for them to do the, or
I'm
give
not
them.
sure if they wrote the letter or what is going on. Like I said, somebody else that has more experience with that could tell you. The girls probably could have told us how the situation went, but I know how the process went, but I don't know exactly who wrote the letter or who, I know they still had to go to the commission and get things done.
Is it a formal letter, Bernadette, or is it just the stewards inform you that it's a positive test and then allow you to make that request for a split? And I'm asking, I don't know, because I'm
Well,
asking if anybody can answer.
luckily, Sean, I can't tell you
Jill,
how
can you answer that?
the stewards
Jill?
do it. I've never had a bad test.
You're
Jill,
right.
can you answer that?
Yes,
We
Dr.
pay, this is Larry. We used to pay for the first split test,
Mhm.
back 5-6 years ago. We paid for the first split.
The Horsemen's Association paid for the split?
Yes.
Yes. We paid the first one. Years ago.
Jill, can you add anything to that? We need to move on.
Okay, so you're informed of a split test. You have 48 hours to contact somebody, which used to be our New Mexico Horsemen's Association office. They would contact the certain labs that take the split test and find one that will take the test. Some of the split labs will not take the test. So you got to find one that will do it. Then the office would request the paperwork from the racing commission. They would send it to them. They'd get this all figured out. They would go to the lab. They would pick up the test, verify that it is the right test. They would pack it in dry ice. They would take it to the FedEx and send it off. The results come back to our office. We inform our trainers or owners, whoever gets it, what the results are, and then it goes on to the racing commission. We are a benevolent organization, and that is what we've just always have done since I've moved to New Mexico. It's always been this way. It's how it's been. I know there's a lot out there that the email should be coming in with the results of them. I think there's probably 5 out there right now that have already been sent off. So what we're going to do with those, I have no idea how the owners will or trainers will be notified that it come back. Somebody's going to have to do that, but that's how it's always been as long as I've been in New Mexico.
So if we get an email, we can notify them. But as I understand the law, and Sean, you know more about that than I do, the commission is legally responsible for these split tests. Is that not correct?
That's correct. That's my understanding. I'm not understanding, and I appreciate you giving that regurgitation of it, Jill, because my understanding is the racing commission has procedures in place that have to be followed, and the labs. I didn't realize you had to go search for the lab, because these labs are supposed to already have contracts with the racing commission to take on these samples. And if they haven't done that, then the commission's been derelict in their duties to produce these labs. Like UC Davis does it, Texas A&M does it. I know that there's a couple of labs, and the reason I know is because I've litigated these things before, and
they
those
do have
labs are.
They do have contracted labs, but some of the labs won't take some of certain tests.
Correct,
So
and that's where the commission.
You might have something major, and UC Davis won't take that one, and you're going to have to find another lab that will take it. Right now, I believe there's one out there that none of the labs want to take it. They can't find a lab that will take it.
But Jill, doesn't the commission have to agree on that lab as well? You can't just go and pick any lab. They got to agree that they're going to take that lab.
There's like 3 or 4 labs that you're allowed to go to. Okay, there's 3 or 4, but of them 3 or 4, not all 4 of them will take your split test. Cal Davis might say, you know what, we won't test for that, or Texas A&M, and and the thing is, then you're going to go on cost, because there's some labs that charge you an substantial amount of money, and you might only have to pay $850, let's say at Texas A&M, but if you go to Cal Davis, it's $1,600. So you have a choice yourself as a trainer, which one you want to go to. Well, so you pick Texas A&M, and they're like, no, we're not going to do yours. you're gonna have to go somewhere else. So then you got to
Mhm.
find another one. So of them 4 labs, you got to try to find which one will take your test that you want to agree on.
So do we need to write an email to the commission and say it's back on you now? Well, I know we verbally told them in multiple ways, multiple people have. They knew before this this situation where they contacted Bernadette. They knew that it was on them. They know this. So I don't know if we need a formal letter via email to tell them that, or just
Back
Well,
in
we
July,
want to protect our
brought it up.
horsemen, don't? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So back in July, when I brought it up about not doing the test anymore, and one of the reasons I brought it up because they are not recognizing us as the Horsemen's Group. And we had our meeting in Gary's office, and Gary brought it up that if we don't keep doing it, that's just one more thing that shows them that we are not the Horsemen's Group. And that is why it was decided we needed to keep doing it. And I still don't believe we should do it, but I kind of can see Gary's point also, because already Izzy's going around telling everybody that we're not a Horsemen's Group no more. So,
Well, I think that letter might be used as exhibit 1 in our continuous litigation with them, but they recognize us when they need us, but then they don't want to recognize us when it's our turn to be recognized. Using that, and then by the same token, say this is actually their responsibility anyway. I mean, of course, at the end, it's Gary's final say from a litigation standpoint, but I don't see how that's a New Mexico horseman's problem. And I always ran into the problem if the HBPA, well, I use that term because that's what it was called there, but the horseman's group, if we're representing a trainer with a bad test, we're technically doing that against the other ones in the race who stand to, benefit if that is a bad test. It's kind of like, taking one over the other. They used to fight me all the time when I fought for horsemen as an attorney. On one hand, you're fighting for a horseman who's got a bad test. What about the other guys who finished behind him? It's not fair to them. So they used to make this conflict question to me all the time about it. So I don't know if that, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but when we're helping somebody who's got a bad test, I'm not always, not that it is a bad test, of course, but it does seem a little bit problematic that this falls more on the trainer themselves to do that than it does on the association, especially if it's coming at a cost to us. When right now, I think our financial position is not where we really need it to be.
Well, we're not paying for the split test anymore.
No, we don't pay for them.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
that's
I
not
thought
what
at
we
some
do.
point we said we used to.
No,
We used
did.
to.
We paid for one, the first one. No, we don't do that anymore. We find the lab that will do the test. We tell the owner, trainer what the cost is. They send a check to New Mexico Horsemen's, and then Brenda would turn around and deposit the check and write the check out to the lab. So all we did was just send the check, make the arrangements. That's it. And no matter what we decide to do, Paul, we've got to have a vote on this because it's an action item. So we've got to have a vote on split.
on split tests.
What we're gonna do.
I don't think we have the personnel to do it. So I
No.
think it's time to officially send the commission a letter that says due to
Cutting our
funding,
budget. Yeah.
you've cut our budget. It's back on you.
Yeah,
So-
we put it on them if they cut our budget,
Okay.
and therefore we can't afford to do it. So if they want to reconsider their position about how we get paid, and then we can reconsider our position about maybe helping them.
I think that's the letter that needs to go out. And do we have a motion to that effect? Or do you want me to make it?
First, we're gonna make a motion that we do not continue with split tests at this point on, right? We haven't decided, we haven't voted on that, number one. We're taking actions to cease or suspend split tests, so we have to have a motion and a second and a vote on that.
I will move that we cease cease our part in the chain of custody for split tests.
I'll second it.
Custody for split tests. Okay. Was that Sean who seconded?
No,
I'm
Junior.
sorry. Junior? Okay. All right, Paul, a vote or any against or what?
Vote. Any opposed? Any opposed to this one?
Okay,
Paul,
passes.
Go ahead,
Paul,
Bernadette.
yeah, the only thing I would say is maybe instead of putting cease, maybe suspend at this time till maybe we figure it out after everything is done with litigation.
I think that's a good word to amend that
Suspend.
motion with,
Mhm.
is suspend. Can we do that?
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna suspend our roll at this point.
right.
And I did not hear any opposed. Everybody's able to get online, right?
Okay.
Okay,
And then you and Sean are going to write the letter that you would like to send to the email?
Yeah, I'll
send
put
out-
something together and then we'll send it probably over to Gary for final review.
we also
Okay.
need to notify our horsemen so they
Yes.
can, in their 48 hours that they have to follow up on this, they need to contact the commission.
Can we do something too, just to help them in general? Because Jill made some good points about what they were able to rely upon. I get it. It's very intimidating to jump into the legal process when you're a trainer and you've had a bad test. So maybe we can post those labs that the commission does have a contract with on our website, and we can kind of put. I know I'm asking a question here if somebody can do it, but basically, what happens if I get a bad test? And maybe we can give them a little bit of a tutorial on our website that they can go to and follow, that gives them the lab's name and number and stuff like that, and who they have to call and what racing rule it would be in there. So that way they kind of have the information at their hand, and it would drive some traffic to our website.
I think that's a great way to get that message out. Like, I think that's the only way to get that out.
I've got a question. During our meeting at Red Dosa, Harvey Baeza was there mad because he said that Brenda sent it to the wrong lab, but apparently the commission, the lab that they told Brenda to send it to, then I don't know, something happened there. What was that?
They didn't test hair. Brenda sent it to the correct lab, but the lab called and said, oh, we're not doing hair samples anymore. That's what
That was a
happened.
human test? That was a human test, not a horse, right?
No,
Quarter horse. It was a quarter
Quarter
horse,
horse.
and they wanted a hair test, and the Texas.
Actually, the lab thought they did do the hair test, and that's
Oh,
why they
wow.
accepted it. And then the commission said, oh, no, we suspended you doing hair test.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at, if we put a list up and then the commission pulls those labs and somebody sends it there, then they're going to come back on us, wanting us to
No,
pay
we
for
put
it.
we put that these are recommendations. You know, this is just based on the latest information. This is not legal advice. Contact the racing commission should you have it. It's just it's a tutorial of help to
Okay,
tell
but
them these are
I
the
just
labs
don't want to
currently
get
under
caught up with that
contract.
again.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Okay. We can do that. Good idea.
Okay, have we got that resolved?
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah,
did.
we're done. We're done with that one. Yes.
Okay. Denise, medical guidelines, please.
So in reviewing the medical guidelines, didn't realize I was up, sorry. I think we need to update them and clean them up. Hold on just a second.
Everyone should have gotten the medical guidelines, a 2-page document.
You know, it says, well, and this was for changes for 21 or until board revisits. Currently licensed, show proof of racehorse that started at least 3 times in the previous or current calendar year. One of those starts has to occur within 60 days. All partnerships will be treated as one entity, receiving one accident illness award per year. Not each individual of said partnership. That I agree with, but The trainers having to show proof. Do we want to change any of this? Do we want to clean it up? I mean, we've got, marked out between the 3,000. Now we've got 1,500.
Okay, can I interrupt you, Denise, and talk to you for just talk to them about what Terry told me?
Sure.
Terry and I went in and I visited with Terry a little bit on the medical. And she told me, we went over the guidelines, and she told me that she's kind of changed things since COVID in 20. She said, people couldn't run. So that messed everything up. She said, then after that, we started losing dates. And so it was still more difficult to get your horses in. So Terry pretty much said that she has not really required everyone to have the 60. You must have started a horse 60 days before the receipt of your receipts. I mean, before she gets them. She said, we've just kind of been lackadaisical about that because people can't run their horses. And I understand that completely. However, if that's going to be a rule change and we're just going to say you have to have started a horse within a year, you've had to have so many starts, okay. But if we're not going to go by the 60-day rule for sending in your receipts, then we need, as a board, to vote to remove that. We can't just say, oh, I feel bad for everybody and I'm not going to enforce that. That's one thing we have to decide.
And then I also think if you're going to turn in medical receipts for 2022, you need to have started a horses in 2022. If you're going to turn them in 2023, for 2023 receipts, you should be starting horses in 2023.
Right. Yes.
You can't turn in medical receipts for 2023 and you haven't started a horse since 2021 or 2022. No. But these are pretty generalized things, and with the lack of money that we have in the fund, I think we need to kind of tighten it up just a little bit. But there is one thing that we absolutely have to do is all members, when they submit for their medical, they have to fill out the claim form in its entirety, and they have to submit their license.
Yes.
I received receipts in the mail the other day. There's receipts shoved in an envelope. Nothing. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these guys? I gave them to Pam. I said, here. She goes, what am I supposed to do with them? I said, I don't know. There's
yeah,
no
we have to have a form. We have to go by the rules. I'll tell you that. I want the forms filled out completely. It requires a copy of your racing license and then all your receipts attached behind. If that's all done,
do a better job of letting our members know too.
Yes.
Can we
Terry
identify that on the website?
Yes, it's on there. It's on there.
Okay.
And Terry had said that, it's basically the same people. She said, honestly, we have a lot of money in our simulcast account, but it's basically a handful of people that submit it. And so what we really need to do is we need to get the word out that you're entitled to this money, people. I mean, we've got 2,800 owners and trainers, and very few of them know that this exists. So I think that we need to focus on getting the word out. If you have medical claims, if you have reimbursements that we can help you with, right now it's at $1,250. We'd love to have more people because it's just, she said there's probably 50 people and it's the same people year after year after year. And the money's there and we need to educate our horsemen about it. So I guess the first thing we need to do though, is we just need to go over the guidelines and see what you all want to do as far as, do we want to eliminate the 60-day rule? Do we want to just make it, you have to run a horse in 21 to file medical claims in 21? I mean, you all have to tell us what you want to do. So we can't just kind of pick and choose, well, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to grant that one, I'm going to okay this one. And everyone's entitled. Everyone's entitled. If you have a license and you have your receipt, everyone is entitled to the medical insurance. So you all tell us how you want to do it.
Well, if you've run a horse, they've already taken money out, which technically is supposed to pay for that. So you've already contributed. I can offer this if you like. Years ago, again in Louisiana, we went through this same thing, and in fact, our medical funds are significantly higher than what they are in New Mexico, and we had to be careful about the balance of money. So I actually have, and I can get and give to the board and share the way we did that, the way it was defined, and we can tweak the numbers that fit our nature. In Louisiana, you had to have at least, I think back then it was probably 8 or 10 actual starts, and a start meant if I own a horse individually, that was one start. If I owned one with you, Pam, then that was a half start. So we'd have to start a horses 16 times in a partnership in order to achieve that goal to get there. And we were also tied in. It was a little different nature with the working relationship with the commission, so we can check licensees. But I can offer that to us, which would probably eliminate the guesswork and the legwork of having to try to figure out the language and put it together, because I paid a lot of money to other attorneys to do that and get it to us. So I can do that. We can decide how the number is, and the small details from there, which I can put out, spread to the board members. We can talk about it, think about it, and then come together and either do it through email or however you want to satisfy what we have outstanding in the monies.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's a good idea. That'll save us a lot of time.
Okay, I have a question I have to ask, and I'm going to ask this of the older board members. Okay, this will be for Jill, Paul, Larry. I know. Okay, let's say, I'm trying to interpret these rules. Let's say that we have an owner and a trainer that are married. Okay, they're a family. Okay, the owner files medical for her receipts, so she is entitled to $1,250. The trainer, her husband, files $1,250 of receipts. Are they both entitled to $1,250 even though it says per family and they both have licenses? I need an interpretation, please, from you three. You've been there.
It's always been that way.
What's that?
Okay, so I'm an owner. My husband's a trainer.
Okay.
Okay. We've always got to be able to vote separately. We've got to, because we're a family, we've got medical separately. This is the first year we've ever got medical. But yes, because of the fact that an owner and a trainer both run at that track, this money comes from simulcast. It comes from simulcast. So every horseman is eligible for it that is an owner or a trainer or both. Now, if I was the owner and the trainer of just this one horse, then no, I would get it one time.
Okay.
But every person has always been eligible that way. Also, we cut the price because of the fact that the tracks were not running and we were not getting simulcast during COVID. And that was one of my things that I added. I think we ought to up it back up a little bit. We roughly get around 200,000 a year off of simulcast that goes into our medical fund. And that is the only thing that money can be used for. And
okay, let me ask you, Bill, if I have, I'm just trying to get, so if I have, let's say I have a husband and wife, they both have owner's licenses, they both run horses together. So you're saying each of them are,
if they're partners, if they have their own horse in their own name, then they can.
And if they're partners, they get half and half.
I got one owner. Let me tell you, I got one owner. Okay. And they are partners. There's her husband, and another guy.
Okay.
Okay. There's also her and another person.
Okay.
On 2 different accounts. So right now she's partners with one guy. She also has a license that is with her and another person. And she's also got a license with her and another person.
Okay.
So let's say that her husband uses the money off of her and her husband and her partner.
Okay.
And let's say that her and another partner, she uses all that money off of that partnership. And then the other partnership, you got her and another guy, and that guy uses that on all of that money on that partnership. Does that make sense?
Well, that makes sense. But Terry had done, she said if it's clear that it's Jane Doe and Betty Lou, and they're both owners and they're both partners on this horse, then you give them half. They're entitled to half of the 1250 because that is spelled out right there, half and
Or
half.
one person can take all of it.
Oh, well, she didn't tell me that. She said if it specifically states both names, then that's half. They each are entitled to the
There's been
25.
instances where someone has come in and said, hey, I want to use this medical. And they're like, oh, well, your partner already used it all. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. It used to be, we used to have to look at the medical. I don't personally think the board should look at anybody's medical.
Right.
Nobody should know what anybody's going on. So
Well,
I don't want to look
What
at
if we
any.
just said each individual
Yeah.
is entitled to X number of dollars, especially if they're a partner?
Because the thing is you could do that too if that's how you wanted to do it.
You can cap it out. You can
Your
say,
partner.
yeah,
But I could say, you know what? I don't want my other share. I want my partner to have all of it. Because maybe she's got big major medical problems and she needs the money and I never use it. I don't know.
Who's going to call? You're going to put that on the receipts? Is that what you're saying? Someone would say, you send your
Well,
receipts in
Yes, you
together.
could say, have them say that you know, that.
I think there should be a cap on what an
You know.
individual gets.
You know,
Yeah, that would.
Let
that
me
would
give
be
y'all these
better.
things. The
One
things I
person
have
can
will answer that. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to say, let
No,
me give you
ahead.
what I have, and I think all these things are kind of laid out in there. And then if we want to change it or redline it, this board has the ability and the power to do whatever it wants to do with regard to that. And then you can kind of make those red line changes and put it all together and put it for a vote, and then that'll satisfy majority of I think what y'all are talking about.
Okay,
you can
well, I'll look at
Go
it.
back here. You can only go back 1 year. You
Right,
can't go to 2021. You can only go back
No.
to 2020.
correct. Okay, so we're not, in other words, we're not going to change anything today. So we just brought it up for
But-
discussion and that's
Well,
that. So,
But discussion that I don't think we ought to up it more than the 1250, where we're getting 200,000 a year, and the fund just keeps either staying the same or building. It's not, we're not going nowhere with it. So, and like you said, only the older people use it, and maybe if more people would use it, it would
Yeah.
be different. Right now,
I
nobody's
should
using.
put out, I'm working on a database, an email database, so that we'll be able to send things out to the Horseman email. And I think I'd like to include that in there just to, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Jill, but if we could delay that until we can try at least, we're talking about our next meeting in January, until we can put the word out to people and then say that, everyone's entitled to this, and see if we can solicit some more people. I just don't, I mean, I guess we're jumping ahead. You're supposed to talk in number 9. I'm sorry. I'll wait.
Okay, I don't need to be number 9. We'll just
Oh.
say this was, but that's just one of the things I would like to consider, that we up it. But I'm with Sean. I think if Sean can come up with something that, you can't run 16 times in New Mexico. If you're working 16 times, first off, this is going to kick your ass.
No, I agree. That's why I said the number
you
needs to
know,
be tweaked based on where we are with the
I
limited
don't
race
think-
days.
Think you can say you can run 3 times in 6 months anymore, because that's almost impossible in New Mexico. You're going to be lucky if you get to run 1 time at Hobbs, or even not, because there's just so many horses there, and that money's so great that you got everybody wanting to go there. So it's really hard to draw in. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really sad they didn't get to run there. So that's 3 months. That's 2 months of your 6 months already taken up. And then you got almost a month going off from Hobbs to Sunland before they run. So I think we ought to do 6 months, maybe 3 times a year.
Well, y'all put in the number that works for the board. That can all
Yeah.
be tweaked. The language is there, and all
So-
we do is change 8 to 4 or whatever we
Right.
decide to do.
Okay, well, let's just
the-
table it then until the January meeting, and we'll have a chance to all of us look at what Sean can come up with and the Jill suggestions, and we'll talk about it then.
Very good.
I've got a suggestion about it.
Okay.
Let's make it simple so Pam or who's
Yeah.
got to do this, that they don't have a lot of work to do. I mean, they're not getting paid for the work. Let's
Well, if we
not
can
make
see
it real
what,
simple.
thank you, Larry, appreciate that. If we can see what Sean has, I mean, we've come up with an idea. Well, Denise is going to,
That's nice.
come up with a spreadsheet with
Okay.
everybody who's, you become
names
part of the
and so
spreadsheet
my
once you
hiding
submit
concept
claims.
is
Denise, you can explain it, how we're
he's-
gonna do it.
He knows that there's funny business going on.
I
Can
really
I
have
add
don't like
thing
it.
real quick?
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I remember Denise
I don't
saying
just
something
do-
that somebody threw in a bunch of
Okay.
receipts and mailed them or whatever.
Yeah.
They probably most likely already had a file
that's
going,
That's awesome.
and
Oh, it doesn't even matter.
so they probably
Yeah.
already submitted their
If
form one
anybody's
time. That's
there,
maybe
like,
one thing we need to think
Towards
if
the-
we need to
towards the guys.
file the form every single time you send in receipts instead of just once a year.
I
Oh,
That needs to
okay.
be
I
clarified
didn't
too,
even
but
know
this
what
particular
version of
individual,
file
he
it
has
is.
no
They
claim
won't
form at
answer.
all in the file.
It's
Well, Denise, will
ridiculous.
you explain what we're talking about doing?
Well, Terry had just done everything by hand and just had them all stapled and paper clipped and
Bobby
put in
Martinez
files
says she
by
wants,
last name.
People's
Um,
signatures, and names on
And when
his
people
card.
send in
And then I don't know if you saw
numerous
the stuff he
claims
posted about,
throughout the year, like they'll send
knee crops
throughout the month, they'll send, a
stuff for,
$60 receipt
Toby
here, a
Keith's
$50 receipt here. Every
I-
single month, they might have 5 or 6 receipts that they
like,
send
taking a
in.
break. She's lied
You have
under
to go
oath.
get their
I'm actually
file,
working on
actually start
another right now
calculating again.
for that.
I'm just gonna put it on a
it's falling
spreadsheet and let
apart,
Excel
and they know
calculate
it's
for
falling
me,
apart.
or
It's
Pam,
like they are
whoever.
just
Mhm.
trying to, I mean, just
Yeah.
keep going.
Because it's
like,
just
Just
it's
simplify it a little bit.
it's just been done by paper and it'd be a lot easier to
threatened to
control
take
if we did
people
it
down
on the
there
computer, so.
Because he knows where all the
All
bodies.
right, that's all for medical guidelines for today, Paul. Thank you.
Is there anything on accounts payable, Denise, that you haven't already covered?
That's the
I
other
already
thing,
covered them, the
just
ones that are due.
zero credibility.
And then
Okay.
we have to talk
And,
about the
Like, I'm
HPBA
the only
dues.
person
We've
working on
got
the
3
closing
months
right
worth.
now, and I'm
Yes.
gonna try to see
Quarters
if I
worth,
can
I'm
get
sorry.
Horseman to, you know,
Those are on
stop
hold
schmucks
until
long enough that
we get some
listen.
legal resolution, but we can talk about that in our executive session if we.
Okay.
Susie, do you have a social media update?
Good question.
Yes, I do. I'm sending,
Send me,
I can get
send
it
me
done.
pictures, names.
I just sent y'all all 4 pictures.
Okay,
The
well, I mean, if
Facebook
you
is
have
doing
to-
good. We're, people are joining our, liking our
You know,
Facebook
if you
page
have
and
to
joining it
just
every
put
day.
your phone on video.
We're up to like 550 something, I
Yeah.
think, or 40 something. So I went and created a Facebook page for a group for each track, except for Sunray, because they have their own Facebook page, which I told Bernadette I'd be happy to do for them as well. And it's tied to the New Mexico Horsemen's
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just sent y'all pictures so y'all could
If
see
you have
it.
to put your phone on video. and
Those
then
are
just
doing
hold it
really
down by your
well.
leg
I've
and walk
made,
by.
I can
I've never
control
met her. I've
anything on
actually
all
done
of them
a
because
real-
I'm on the Facebook, but I made,
Yeah.
Pam is over Redosta, Junior's over Sunland, and I'm over
No,
Zia,
thank you. Send me what
and
you can.
Sean's over
And I'll
Albuquerque.
get on it. Rush it.
So that way we can, it's just committee track, Albuquerque committee track talk. I think how I got it listed. So that way we can keep everybody informed, and we've got a lot of people following those pages. So just letting y'all know about that. Other than that, it's all doing good, I think. So, this is not about social media. Denise, you forgot to mention that Tiffany didn't get paid. She contacted us and said that she hadn't been paid, so we had to approve and pay her. Said she couldn't work with us anymore until we got her paid. So,
I just saw that she had been paid, so I didn't think about it. Sorry.
Yeah, she got paid yesterday.
yeah. But other than
Thank
that,
you.
I guess that's all I got for social media, unless y'all can think something I forgot.
No, thank you for doing those. Those are really cool. I have a real good group, lots of comments all the time on Ruidosos. So
Does Sunray not want to be on that forum?
Well, they had one. I told Bernadette if they decided they wanted one, I'd be happy to make them one. So, Bernadette, you want to respond to that or got anything to say?
Yeah, sorry guys. No, I mean, we have ours already as a group. I don't know if making another one would interfere with the rest of them. I think pretty much everybody knows ours. If you connected it to the New Mexico Horsemen's page, I think that should be enough, unless Jill has another opinion, but I think we're good.
Okay. Thanks, Susie. Jill, do you have anything else on the medical reimbursement increase? Because it's number 9.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, let's go to public comment. 3 minutes per person, please.
Vanessa, was you wanting to say something?
Yeah, sure, why not? I need to agree with Mr. Alfordish. It is time to fight. It has been time to fight. If nothing is done soon, I mean, it's like I keep getting to the point where, all is lost. I have a question, if people wouldn't mind answering this, not just for you, but for all the horsemen. What is Lisa Johnson's phone number? This is, I know it sounds silly as heck, but this is a giant issue right now. And Johnson has lied under oath. She went down in flames in her deposition in my case. I've got another motion from the Racing Commission where they have lied to the judge again. I'm having a really good time answering these, but it would be very interesting to see if I could get as many horsemen as possible to submit just simple statements showing that they have been contacted and have contacted Lisa Johnson by her phone 915 area code, and it's been that way for over a decade. They know those are public records, and they have been fighting me tooth and nail to release them because I shall, I already have proven that she is part of a racketeering, extortion, and organized crime scheme, as well as other Racing Commission members. I wrote something down about the bad tests and turning over more responsibility to the Racing Commission. I know it's got to be done. I don't know if anybody has looked up the number of lawsuits, about 100 of them, that the Racing Commission has lost. And not just on the administrative level, I'm talking district court level, because they are absolutely incompetent. It is, if you get a bad test in New Mexico, you're going to get it dismissed, because at some point somewhere the commission will mess up somewhere, and it's a guarantee. I have discovered, this is my last point, and I'm not going to be able to give many details right now. I would be willing to do it, probably an executive session or something, but I can't put this out publicly because it is not public. But I've discovered 6 figures of embezzled purse money, and I've only got a handful of ones that I'm investigating, which tells me that I'm going to find 7 figures of embezzled purse money. I know how they did it, and my issue right now is finding out, the who, the when, and putting together a list of horsemen. I have gotten started with a law enforcement organization to investigate this properly, but this is a huge, huge deal. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I've barely started to scratch the surface. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I needed to go back to the bad tests and, of course, giving the commission more responsibility. I took the liberty of posting the so-called records that the Racing Commission gave to me about those necropsy samples that Lisa Johnson left in her truck for 3 days to rot, and wasn't able to send to the lab. They're covering that up. The records that they sent me are completely unlawfully, heavily redacted, and of course we know why. And I don't know how much you guys are aware, how much you want to know. I know a lot of times I'm just kind of talking to a brick wall, but Mr. Alfordish, there might be some information that I've got that I believe that you could use quite well in your mission here. So anyway, if you guys want to hear more about the embezzled purse information, I'm willing to talk to you, but I won't do it publicly. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
And Vanessa, I'm obvious, just real quick so I can tell her, I'd be happy to talk to you outside the board and stuff like that. And I'd be happy to send you my number. You can call me
Sure.
and let me know that. And you mentioned something else real quick. You said that there are hundreds of lawsuits where the commission is screwed up and done things incompetently. Do you happen to have a copy of most of those or know the case numbers
I
to be
will
able to?
happy to send you a list, and I have almost all of the case files.
Does somebody have your number so I can get that and have that conversation with you outside of a
Everybody
public
has my
forum?
number.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
sure
right.
you'll
Well,
get it.
I'll get it and contact you. I'm at a 504 area code, so you'll
No
if you
problem.
see it, you'll know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Anyone else for public comment? Okay, let's adjourn this meeting. We can move
Oh,
into,
Can I interrupt 1 second? There was not an executive session put on this agenda. I sent it to Paul and I said, if we need a litigation update, let me know so we can add executive session.
the reason
But
it's not
that's-
on there, the reason it's not on there is because Gary is in court today and he cannot meet with us. However, it seems that there is information that can be disseminated if we can move directly into an executive session, if that would be okay with everyone right now.
Yeah.
There will be no decisions made. There will be nothing that we need to come back into open session for. So if y'all want to get this update, we could do that now without Gary, but Gary can't be with us. That's why it's not on there. So
That's what I thought. Okay.
so we can just have everyone else exit the meeting and we can stay and talk if that's agreeable.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Susie will let us know, I guess.